Welcome everybody to my slightly late live stream because I had trouble with that. The front end looked all different. They've changed a few things and I was struggling, and then it seemed to have the wrong login. I don't know what the problem was. Anyway, I'm here doing my live stream on a Tuesday, my Craft with Carol live. Just realised I need my cut and emboss machine, so I need to go and get that in a second. But welcome anyway, if you are there now. Let me just open my chat as well so I can see if anybody puts anything up. Please do let me know if you are there, if you are watching, and let me know who you are, where you're from. And apologies again for being slightly late. So today it is Tuesday. Oops, let me just move that because I need space for when I go and get my machine. It is, what day is it? 12th, Tuesday the 12th. Anyway, it is Blog Hop Day. I take part with the Tech for Stampers Blog Hop, and it is Blog Hop Day. And our theme today is nature. So I've decided to use the Spotlight on Nature stamp set with the Spotlight on Nature dies. I'm actually going to swap to my craft desk already because hopefully it's the right way around and everything's working. Yeah, it's not too bad. Fairly straight as well, which is good. The Spotlight on Nature is a bundle that comes with the Spotlight on Nature dies, and these are fabulous. You get two lots of dies, and they are fabulous. One's got a sort of corrugated edge, one's got a sort of flower leaf type edge, one has got like a sort of dash hole edged one, and they are repeated in the different sizes, and you'll see the patterns vary. So you can choose for the same size of circle, you can choose which sort of edge you want. So we need to do that for this card in a bit. If you don't have that bundle, then any other bundle you want that's got a medium-sized stamp with it will do for this, and you can use your stylish shape dies to make this same card. Because you know me, we're going to make a fun fold card because I love fun folds. What can I say? So you can use stylish shapes as well. And in fact, I have used the banner from Stylish Shapes for a little extra bit on the card, which will become clear as we make it. So I was going to try and make one so I could show you how it works, but I haven't had time, so let's hope it all works. I'm also going to use the With Love from the Thankful Garden and the Happy Birthday from Simply Said. Just put those to one side for a minute. So I have got my stamps out from there. And the DSP I'm using is this one. It's the Lovely Garden, which matches with this stamp set, the Thankful Garden stamp set, which comes with dies as well. And you've got this lovely paper to go with it. So I've used some of these papers, beautiful papers these are. And I've used one of my favourite colours, Fresh Freesia. So I need to go and get my cut and emboss machine. So I'll just go and get that. Bring that across so I can lift it on the desk in a minute. Move my bin so I've got room for it and not falling over. And I just need to get my coffee. It's been a crazy morning, I have to say, today. I had various appointments, and one appointment had to be put back because somebody needed to come across on the ferry, and the ferry was cancelled because it was really foggy first thing this morning. So they had to drive all the way around the loch, which made that appointment late. And then I had my hair appointment, which was supposed to be 12 o'clock, didn't get in until 1:45. So it's all been a bit of a rush. But I have got my coffee now, so I'm going to have a little slurp and turn on my lovely, wonderful pad that I was given last year as a birthday present, which was wonderful, and it still is wonderful. So what are we going to do today, and what do we need? So this is a fun fold. It's a sort of, I called it a sort of Z fold card because it is a sort of Z fold card. But normally for Z fold cards, you actually make the Z from the base card and then have another Z on top and all sorts of things you can do. This has got a Z fold inside the card. You'll see how it works in a minute. I don't know whether it's got a special name at all, this card, but anyway, we'll see. I'll show you. You'll see what it is as we make it. So you need a base card, and that is the normal base card, which is 21 centimetres by 14.8 centimetres, scored at 10.5 centimetres. So I've already done the scoring on this card. We will need to score the next piece, but I'll just fold and burnish this spot. So we've got the base card. So normal base card. If you're working in US cardstock, then that needs to be 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. So what else do you need for this card? We need a piece of basic white. And this piece of basic white is 17 centimetres by 13.5, and we're going to score it because this is the piece that makes the Z. Then I've done this with 2 pieces of DSP. I've seen this sort of similar cards done in different ways, to be honest, but I'm using DSP both for the front of my card and on the inside back there. And these 2 pieces of DSP are the normal second layer pieces, which is 10 centimetres by 14.3. If you're working with US cardstock, that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So 2 pieces of that. I've actually used the same DSP, but just reversed one. This one will be mainly covered by our other cards, so it doesn't really matter about the pattern on that bit. And then I've got various bits of scrap, and I've already punched myself a 2 1/4 inch circle, and I've cut out the banner die I showed you from Stylish Shapes because I'm going to make a little tab with that. So to make this card, we are first going to score to make our Z fold piece. So this, as I said, 17 by 13.5. Can't quite remember the inches. I think it's 6 1/4 by 5 or 4 3. I can't remember. It is in the blog. It will be in the blog. And I know for the inch size card, you want to score at 2 inches and 4 inches. We are going to score this at 5 centimetres and at 10 centimetres. So 5 and 10. And then we're going to fold this to make the Z fold. So that means we're going to fold the first fold, this sort of middle fold here, fold it inwards as a valley fold or mountain, whichever way you look at it. It's always difficult to know whether you call, I think I'd call that mountain because I'm I'm actually burnishing on the outside. Then the other bit is going to fold back again. So it folds like that. So you fold one in and one out, and that produces your Z fold. That's your Z. You can see why it looks like a Z there. So that is that bit done. And we need to do some stamping on this bit before we actually stick everything together. So I shall do that stamping now. I've got myself some bubble bath and fresh freesia to match my background in the darker colour, and the bubble bath to match the lighter colour there. And we're going to just do some stamping here. I'm going to stamp my With Love inside my card. And the bit that I'm going to write on is actually this piece here. So I'm going to say With Love there. And I'm going to use, there's 2 other, I'll get the set out again, I'll show you. There is this hatched die and there's stamp, and there is also the dotty stamp, and I haven't quite decided which one to use. So do feel free to suggest which one. I just want a little bit more interest here. So I think we might do a mixture. I've got both stamps out, so we'll do a few dots around. We'll have some dots in the corner there, and say here. And we'll have some on here, I think, as well, because we're just going to put some patterns down there. And we'll use the hashed one as well. So we'll have some hashes there and here, because we're going to see this bit here. So you could write on it or you can stamp on it, make a pattern. I was thinking about using the flower, but I think no, I'm just going to use those patterns in there. So that is those bits. Let me just get my cloth and clean those stamps. Ooh. And while I've got my ink pad out, this one I'm going to stamp my happy birthday, which actually I've got this scrap piece of card, but that is not long enough, so I need a longer piece of card. Let's have this. Oh, it's got cut bit out. Is that bit going to be fine? It is. So we'll use this bit and we'll stamp that. Happy birthday. Stamp it in a bit because I haven't quite decided how I want to finish that bit off. So I'll stamp it in there. Okay, what else do I need to stamp? Various things. Let me just get my... Now, you see, I've completely forgotten to get... No, I haven't. I've got the right bits. Honestly, what am I like? Okay, so I'll deal with those in a minute, but I do want to stamp the butterfly, but I'm going to stamp these in Memento. So I am going to be colouring these. So I need a butterfly for my front. So there's my butterfly, and then on this piece, let's get a piece of scrap. I am going to stamp the flower. just this bit, I think, so I don't need to ink the whole stamp. We'll just ink that bit. I'll just make sure there isn't any over here because I don't want that flower to come out actually. Or do I? It doesn't really matter if it does. Yeah, I might actually stamp the whole thing and get the bit of the other flower in as well. Let's see how that goes. So, yeah. There we go. Want room to have my butterfly on top, you see. Okay. So I'm going to do some quick colouring, and I meant to get these out before, but I forgot, so I'll have to go searching for my pens. So I want Bubble Bath. That's Flirty Flamingo. That's no good. Hang on. I have just decided to get some different storage for these because it's so awkward to try and find what I want in this. That looks like Bubble Bath in there. Is that Bubble Bath or Flirty Flamingo? Did I just look at that one? That is Flirty Flamingo. Whereas that looks like my Bubble Bath. Oh, and my light Fresh Freesia. So they're all mixed up. Look, is that the dark Fresh Freesia? That's Highland Heather. And that shouldn't be stuck to that, most definitely. That's Bubble Bath. There we go. I've got both Bubble Baths. Just need to find the other. That's Highland Heather again. Need my dark Fresh Freesia. There we go. Right, just go. Oh, look at the mess, honestly. This is why I want some different storage. I did have these, you can see I've got sort of bits of Velcro that stick these together in pairs, but if they're all failing, and the problem is then I can't pick up one. I have to search for both pairs. So, yeah. Oh, I need green as well. Grab that green. What is it? Let's see. Old Olive. My favourite greens, that'll do. So we are going to, I want to match partly the flowers here. So we're going to have a bit of Bubble Bath. Not going to colour the whole flower, just sort of areas of it. So just sort of match what's out there on the paper, on the DSP. Oh, get the top on. And just fill it in a bit more without completely filling it with a lighter colour. Leaving a few little bits of white around because it's got more white on the inside of the flower there. And we'll just do something on the leaves as well. Try and do this quite quickly because it's boring watching people colour. Quite relaxing, but quite boring. Use my pencil tip to do the stems because the stems are very thin. A little bit of darker, just to add a little bit of contrast. You'll notice I'm really not doing this too carefully. I'm just bringing some colour on. That'll do. And then for my butterfly, we're going to have a mainly purple butterfly. So it's my light, yes. I'm not doing this particularly carefully or anything. We're just going to have a bit of a mix of colours on my butterfly. The darker colour out towards the tips. It feels and looks like my Bubble Bath is running out as well. Honestly, I seem to be doing nothing but buying blends at the moment. And again, I'm doing this the reverse way than normal. I'm putting the darker colour nearer the far edges, but just because I like that effect. So there we are, some really, really quick stamping. Okay, so I do need to fussy cut my butterfly. I really should have done this. No, where's my scissors gone? I'm over here today. Yeah. They were over there. I was cutting some threads on my lace. So I'll just very quickly cut this out. It can be difficult to fussy cut butterflies with antennae. Just take your time. And I'm always, as before, when I've talked about fussy cutting, I leave a little bit of white. I don't want to leave too much white on this because it's going to be against a white background anyway. But I do want to make sure I'm cutting outside the black line because I need to leave the black line. I'm not going to cut into the black line, if that makes some sense. I'm just cutting just to the outside of the black line, black outline. But our snips are lovely at cutting things because you can sort of do quite detailed edges and ins and outs bits, which you'll see when I get back to the antennae here. I'm not the world's best fussy cutter at all. Neither am I, as you can see, the best colourer, but it will do for my purposes today. So yes, so on the blog later on, the blog will not be published, by the way, until 6 o'clock tonight, because that's when all of the Tech for Stampers blog hot blogs are published. So you'll have to wait till then to get the written instructions and measurements, I'm afraid. So I'm just being quite careful cutting these antennae out. But I'm just cutting it literally a V between them, basically. Hopefully without actually cutting the antenna itself off. There we go. So there is my butterfly. Quite pleased with that fussy cutting, given how quickly I've done it. Obviously you could take more time over it. So making up this card. Did I clean that? I can't remember. Just clean it again. The front bit, this is the bit we need to concentrate on. This bit can just stick inside in a minute, but we're going to stick the front bit on. And the most important thing to think about when you're doing this is you only want glue around the outside. Don't put any glue in the center. You know how normally if I glue, I'll actually cover the center as well. But for this, we can't afford that. We need the glue just on the outside. I can have it a little bit up the bottom, but it will stick perfectly well. Like this. So because this bit I'm going to be cutting out, that's the top. Yeah, so I can put a little bit more glue on this bottom bit, but I'm going to leave this bit here mainly free. Put a little bit more in those corners actually. There. So you want to leave all of this middle bit completely clear because we're going to die cut through both layers here. So fit that on so that it's got the same edge all the way around. There we go. And then we are going to die cut an aperture into here. Now, the big advantage of using the stylish shape dies for that is that if you're using a plainer card and you wanted some decoration, when this cuts, it gives decoration outside the cut as well as on the piece that is cut out, if that makes sense. You've got decoration on both sides of the cut line. We haven't got that on these ones, but I do want to use this corrugated one because I rather like it. So I'm going to use this one, and you want to have it somewhere towards the top half. You don't want it bang in the middle. It doesn't look right. So you want it towards the top half without it actually being actually in the top half. And then we're going to stick it down with, and it needs to be central to the sides. And as I said, it more towards the top than the bottom, if that makes some sense there, because it doesn't look right if it's there. Now I've got room to put my sentiment sort of here. So we're going to run this through my machine. As always, I haven't got any room here. Let me just move a few things. And then I can get my boss machine up. So running this through, I'm going to run it through and back again. You don't always need to run dies through and back. They're not Stampin' Up dies, you sometimes do, but Stampin' Up dies, no, not usually. But because it's going through two lots of, just making sure that's not sticking out the sides, so the sides can get damaged. There we go. If you're cutting through two layers, it is worth running it through and back. So I'm going to run it through, and then when it pops, there, you can feel it. I'm going to just run it back again. And that should have cut all the way through. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to check on this side that it has cut all the way through before I try and remove it. So then when we take that out, we've got two pieces. We've got the DSP, which we're not actually going to use. So I'm going to just put that to one side. It's still got the nice edge that I can use again. And just remove those little bits for use again. And put my die away. I always like to put the die away as soon as I've used it so I don't lose them. But we are going to use this piece. So we're going to keep this because it's basically going to fit back into that hole when we put the card together. So the next thing I'm going to do is just stick my flower on top of there, which I might do with... Now I'll put the butterfly up on dimensionals. We'll put this underneath, but actually I will just put my flag there. So I'm just going to fold the flag in half. It doesn't need to be properly creased or anything. Nobody's going to see the inside, but it just gives it a little bit more firmness. I do want it to meet. Come on, fold nicely, little flag. It's determined to slip. There we go. So I'm just going to use my fingers to squeeze it, and then I can put a little bit of glue inside the flag and just glue it together. And then I'm going to glue it just on the back of here, so it needs to go around there. So we'll just pop a little bit of glue on there, and it's going to stick, so it sticks out there. So it gives somebody something to hang on to. I think we'll have it about there actually. Yeah. And then the whole thing I'm going to stick on the base circle, like that. And then my butterfly, which I've lost. What have I done with the butterfly? Where is it? Oh, heavens. Okay, oh, there it is, on top of my stamp pad. Right, good. I thought I'd lost that for a minute, and I thought, oh no, I haven't got time to do another one. Right, we're just going to put some dimensionals on that. Got the edge of a piece of dimensionals. That'll do nicely. And my butterfly is going to go on like that. Oh, that's just perfect, lovely. Just about to land on the flower there. There we go. So that is now ready for the making up of the card. So the first thing we're going to do is stick the other piece of DSP inside. This we now don't need to worry. We can put glue all over this DSP because this one's just sticking down and not being cut out. Then we need to get our completed inside, and we need to stick glue just on the back of this back panel. Okay, don't put any anywhere else. So just on the back of this back panel. And then we're sticking this so that it's got a little border all the way around against the top, bottom and side of the back piece. Oh, dirty fingers, got a mark on it. Just get my rubber and deal with that. That's better. Don't want marks on things. So I've got dirty fingers. So you want to stick it so you can see when it's folded, you've got a bigger gap this side. That's right, that's correct. Okay, so we're just sticking the back panel in, really important. Don't put any glue on the rest of this because this is the mechanism. So then we're going to shut the card, and you can see this sticks out in the middle. So this is where we put the glue. So I can cover this panel, not either side, just on this panel, on this folded bit of the Z card that's now showing through, like that. Okay, so we just put it there. We're really important. We just have it on that piece, on nowhere else. And then we can refit this into the center. So I want it to fit like that. And then we're going to check that the card is still going to open. Yes, it is. And then you open it by pulling on that tab. And it sort of fits into that circle. So there's nothing that sticks this down. It's just opens like that. Okay. So that is, I don't know what to call it, it's a Z fold card because it's got a Z in it. But the other thing is it will fold nicely flat here for if you want to write in it, because this bit isn't stuck down. I have made these in the past with an extra little piece that you stick down top and bottom, put tabs on to stick it down top and bottom. But to be honest, it stays as it should like this, and it just closes so nicely that you don't need another bit on it. It just works like that. So I hope you like that. I'm just going to put a weight on it just to hold it down for a minute while I finish this. So actually there is room to just do a layer, so I might just do a simple layer. I wasn't sure whether to banner this or what. I could actually use the Stylish Shapes banners, could I? Where's my Stylish Shapes styles again? That banner is long enough, look. Let's just try, oops, there we go. Is there room on this scrap? Oh, there is. Excellent. In that case, we might have a banner on this. Is that long enough? Oh, it's close, but I think it'll work. Or shall I just cut it straight? No, I think we'll try this. Lost my machine again. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the tape just to hold it down again, because I don't want this to move while it goes through. And then we can cut this at the same time. I'm lucky that's the right size. It was just a scrap, and because I thought I was just going to simply layer it, but actually it's worked out all right because I can just get this banner out of it. Okay, so I'll run those through. Don't need to go backwards on it because they will cut out perfectly like that. Just, yeah, I think probably I needed a little bit more space around there, but hey, 'tis done, it'll do. And just put that die back as well. I haven't drawn around these dies, but it's pretty obvious where they go. You know how I like to draw around my dies so that I know where they go back so I can fit them all together again, but also to make sure I'm not losing any, which is always a point. So now my happy birthday can sit on there. I think we'll use some dimensionals on that. Not left on that one. Let's get a new sheet. Oops. Actually, it's probably enough if I split that on there. Another empty sheet of dimensionals in the bin. I've just remembered what I was going to do. Hang on, just come off again. There we go. Because I have got somewhere on this desk. Yeah, there we go. I've got some ribbon, and I was just going to put some ribbon underneath there. So I need it to be not too big. Yeah, that'll still just about stick out the side okay. So we'll just have a little bit of tear and tape on there. Nearly threw that tear and tape in my coffee. Did you hear it clink? Honestly. get that in the centre. There. Yeah, that's okay. And I'm just going to stick this down flat across the bottom of the card. Right, it's enough dimension in all of that. Did think about some pink gems as well, but I think that's probably a bit overkill, to be honest. Because there's more than enough depth in this card anyway. I'm just going to trim that back. There we go. There. So there is my Z-fold card. Z-fold, I don't know, concertina card. I don't know what you'd call it really, but I hope you like it. I love it as a very, very simple fun fold. And the little tab just helps with the opening. If you let people just open it, it'll fall out. So you want people to use the tab to open it to make sure it holds its shape. But how nice is that? I hope you like this card. Obviously, I've got to still decorate my envelope to go with it before I finish it. As I said, all of the details, let me put me back so I can speak to you. There we go. All of the details will be in my blog at craftycarolscards.co.uk. And I hope you have a go at this card because it's great fun. I'm sorry I didn't see anybody in the chat. I don't know if people were writing or not. It hasn't come through. It could be my system because, as I said, I had some trouble when I was opening it, but hopefully it isn't. And I hope you can join me again next week at 2 o'clock or as near the time as I can manage to get the technology to work. And I will see you again then. Thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.